hypnosis, what is it? What is it about? Okay, societal hypnosis is when you don't realize, okay, when you don't realize that you have this thingy going on inside of you and you don't know why. It's subconscious. Okay, many people are sleepwalking through life. They sleepwalk through life. They don't realize that they're being led. Okay, they just know that something in them tells them to do this, that, and the other thing. Okay, but they don't actually understand why, and they don't know how to get out of it. Okay, the average person has not studied these things. The average person is not aware of these things, but everyone has awareness. Okay, we are all unified by awareness. So we go through the universal laws every once in a while, but today we're going to talk about some things. Okay, we're going to actually discuss what hypnotic language patterns are. Okay, and that's part of what we're going to talk about today, because you can get hypnotized by certain language. Okay, so these are patterns or specific ways of structuring words and sentences that gently bypass conscious resistance. Okay, so what are these phrases that you can do? Well, there are different names for these phrases. Okay, and we're going to just, they represent a certain position in your life, a certain time in your life, a certain place in your life. And you can use these words to subconsciously put your mind in a better place. Okay, and that leads to better manifestation. Because when you manifest something, okay, and we have to, we have to allow, okay, we have to allow for certain a certain leeway, if you will, okay, with these words. Now, there are phrases that you can use. So my favorite phrase is bicycle money. Bicycle money, okay? Now, let me explain. So when you have a marker or a positioner psychologically, or an anchor, okay, these are words that actually describe the same thing. Okay, but an anchor, a psychological anchor, is a word or a phrase or good morning, guys. Good morning. A word or a phrase that points to a point in your life, an experience in your life that that you can mark with a word that describes the way you felt. Now, this goes as an anchor into your subconscious. And when you anchor into your subconscious, you don't have to get that feeling going, okay? Because it's already there. It's already imprinted in your subconscious. You just have to recall it properly, okay? And a lot of people don't understand how fast and how efficient this is because you bypass the conscious mind, okay? So when I say bicycle, for example, okay, when I was 16, the highlight of my teenage years was when I woke up one Christmas morning and I went out and looked, next to the Christmas tree, and there was my bicycle. It was a 10-speed. So, so that feeling that I had by, looking at my bike and taking that all in, right, was the anchor. Okay, now that anchors that feeling. It anchors that emotional feeling that I felt. So I don't have to say anything but bicycle, and my subconscious will remember what that is by the feeling. So this is why manifestation is so important and people don't get it. It's your emotion that dictates what you get in life. Okay, the Indian philosopher Shanakwa said, your feelings are your God. Okay, and this is what he meant by that, because it's your subconscious. Okay, now superconscious, in our definition, in our reference, superconscious is God. Okay, so there's conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. And these three states of awareness exist in you, in here. Jesus Christ said the kingdom is within. Gautama Buddha said it as well. Krishna said it as well. Okay, so these are all pointing to the same thing, in here. Okay, not out here. People go out here for everything, right? And that's when they get into the illusion. Gautama Buddha said that when the man that sees life as an illusion, in other words, the man who sees life correctly, escapes suffering. And he's talking about psychological pain, psychological suffering. Because everything out here is an illusion. Okay? Because everything out here besides nature was created by someone else's in here. Okay, now when you get to understand perception, when you get to understand how the human mind works, then you start to go, oh, I get it, I see it. Okay, so we teach this every morning. Every morning we go through this so that more people can be aware, okay, aware and awake and not sleep through life, because life is subconscious, 95%, right? So what that means is, you wake up, you brush your teeth, you grab something to eat, you hit the road, you go to work, you work all day, you come home. It's the mouse wheel, okay? It's the mouse wheel. Okay, I don't live like that. I haven't lived like that for almost 30 years, maybe more. Okay, but there was a time, and there were times in between where, I had to work for a corporation, or I contracted to a corporation, or one of my companies contracted to a corporation. And then, yeah, I had to do that for a while. Okay, but after that, back to the observer, back to, okay, take things as it comes. Okay, and it's difficult to live like that because you have to go against the grain. Okay, because you cannot live like the system dictates that you live. Okay, but if you're living as the system dictates that you live, you end up worshiping the system. Okay, the system versus the spirit, the system versus God. So this is where you get God and mammon from. Okay, when you trust and believe in the system, now you're worshiping mammon. Now you're worshiping the system. Now you're believing in the system. Okay, and this is easy for corporate execs to get involved in. Okay, because I work with them all the time, and I have to pull them out of that understanding and pull them into the right brain understanding. Okay, and I'm not talking about politics. Okay, just in case, because this one person thought I was talking about politics when I say left and right brain. No, I'm talking about the right hemisphere of your brain. Okay, that's where connection happens. That's where creativity happens. That's where your intuitive thought comes from. That's where God lives. Jesus sits at the right hand of the Father, not the left. Okay, and it has nothing to do with politics or what you see going on in the physical world. So these anchors that you use. So when I say bicycle, it takes me back to that feeling. When I say money, okay. Now, if you use money as an anchor, it has to be when you made a lot of money, the high point of when you made a lot of money. Okay, and what's good, a good thing to do is to count your money before you deposit your money. Always count your money. Okay, I have maybe tomorrow I'll bring my bag of money. I have a bag of money down there underneath my desk, and I count money regularly. Okay, because you have to feel money. Okay, you have to get into the feeling of money. And what does this do? It starts to attract money. It's not magic, it's your subconscious. Okay, this is not magic, this is not witchcraft, it's not voodoo, it's none of that. It's subconscious. Okay, so now my two anchors are bicycle money. Okay, and why is that? Because bicycle is the emotion, and money reminds me of tons of money that I count. Okay, because I start to count money. Now, money actually refers, as an anchor, refers to the time when I made a lot of money, or when I first made a lot of money, or whatever. But for me, it's that anchor. Okay, for you, it could be when you cash a huge check. Okay, in 2010, we crossed the $1 million mark for my company, my second company. Okay, we crossed the $1 million mark. And why that was important was because when I was a kid, right, I was told that entertainers never made any money, that musicians never made any money. And it was my parents' idea, my parents' way of trying to dissuade me from doing entertainment, right, because I thought it was cool. They wanted me to go to college, get a degree, blah, 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 whatever. And I dropped out of college. Okay, but the $1 million mark happened only because I incorporated marketing into it. I built a $4 million marketing machine over the period of 15 years. Okay, so that had a lot to do with it, because without that machine, without that engine, without that publicity, it never would have happened. And in 2010, which was a considerable amount of time into the marketing that we did, um, it came to fruition. And then we did our Waikiki show, which was the crowning achievement or crowning jewel, whatever you want to call it. And we had crossed the $1 million mark in 2010. And all that meant was that everything I had heard before no longer applied. Because now I had the proof. Okay? Now it had become physical. It had manifested itself in the physical, in a tangible form. So what this means is when you do affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization aimed at one thing, it has to happen. It cannot not happen. But the way that I thought it would happen and the way it happened were two different things, two different ways. Okay? And how I wanted it to happen is not important, but the fact that it happened and that we crossed the $1 million mark in 2010 was important. That's all that was important. Okay, so the anchors were bicycle and money. Those two. So when I say bicycle money and I put energy into it, okay, bicycle money, okay, like that, it takes my subconscious back to that bicycle incident, right? Well, it wasn't an incident. It was exciting. It was that state of exuberance, right? That Christmas morning. Okay, so it takes me back to that, and it takes me back to money when we crossed the $1 million mark. So when I say bicycle money, my subconscious hears excited about money. Okay, so what does that do? That creates this feeling in the subconscious. It's a shortcut in the subconscious. Okay, and this is what hypnotic language patterns are. Okay, it's hypnosis, but it's for your subconscious. So let's say, for example, you graduated college and that was a high point in your life. Okay, and you got a degree in whatever, okay, that allowed you to go on and make money and, that kind of thing. It could be degree. How did you feel when you're standing on the stage and you received your diploma and you shook the hand of whoever, the college president or whoever was giving it out? How did you feel at that moment? Okay, so maybe degree is applicable for you. So you can say degree. Now, what about opportunity? What about financial goals? Okay, so maybe it was a stock sale that you did. Maybe it was, right? So it could be anything. Okay, maybe it was a bank account amount that you looked at and you went, wow, I did that. Okay, so maybe it's degree bank account. You see, right? Or degree bank. There you go. Okay, so this is an anchor. If you use this as an anchor, it helps. Okay, it really, really helps because it puts your subconscious in such a state that it's receiving. It starts to receive instructions. And the reason why you do affirmations every day, okay, is because in the beginning, you're conditioning your mind. You're being conditioned right now. Even though you don't think so, okay, everything around you, okay, this thing here, this conditions you every time you look at it. Okay, it depends on what you're looking at, but you're being conditioned. It's because you're so highly intelligent as a human being. You're constantly being conditioned. So it doesn't really matter what it is, right? I mean, whatever you're looking at, whatever you're attracted to. Some people are attracted to money, okay? And they start making money and you see, wow, these guys make money so easily, like they're talented at making money. Well, because that's what they're drawn to, okay? I'm drawn to helping people. I help a lot of people. I invest my life in people, okay? I invest in human beings. And I'm here to tell you that it pays huge dividends. Like I have this amazing life, okay? Amazing in the way that I don't struggle. I used to struggle. In my 20s, I struggled so much. I slept on the street, okay? I was out on the street and Jay and I were talking about it and she says, well, you should tell people about the struggle part of it. if you really want to hear the struggle part of it, because I thought I was on an adventure. I just looked at it as an adventure. I looked at it as fun. Okay, it wasn't all fun. Yeah, you have some bad days. Yeah, you have some bad things that happen. Yeah, you have some struggles. For me, the struggles wasn't really until I got off the street, like one level above the street. When I got my new place, I got this place, right? It was a ghetto place, but I got into this place, and then some nights there was no food. Some nights there was just ice water in an ice box, and I mean, that was part of the struggle thing because you got to wait till the next day. Wait till the next day. You got to try to sleep on an empty stomach. That kind of thing. It's not even worth mentioning for me, because the big picture, overall, I thought it was exciting. I thought it was, I thought it was fun. And when I look back now, I just look at it as a special time in my life because there was no responsibility. I didn't own anything. I wasn't in charge of anything. I didn't have to work at anything. I just had to work at surviving. Okay, when you're on the street, that's the name of the game, is survival. Okay, but why this is important now to understand survival mode is that the majority of people out there are in survival mode. Okay, they're living in scarcity, in lack, and they're thinking survive. There's a lot of people out there who say the struggle is real, right? If you're saying the struggle is real, and if you're using struggle as a badge of honor so that people look at you and go, wow, yeah, Johnny, he's struggling, but he's making it, but he's struggling. I give him credit. No, that's not anything to be proud of, okay? Because you were born into abundance. You were born for abundance. You were born to create abundance in your life because God is real. If you're struggling, you're focused on the opposite, okay? There's the yin and the yang, okay? There's love and there's fear. Love is the opposite of fear. You were born in love energy. You ever see a baby come into the world angry? No, they come into the world happy, and then they experience life. And it depends on how you are influenced as to how life ends up for you or turns out for you. Many people don't understand the hypnosis that they're in, okay? Some people are actually prominent people that live in scarcity. Prominent people that are thinking lack. Okay, this doesn't have to do with class. This doesn't have to do with ethnicity. This doesn't have to do with anything but the subconscious. I know people with a lot of money. I know some people that have a lot of money. They're not very smart. And I know some people with money that are brilliant. They're very gifted people. So it doesn't really matter on, how much school you had or whatever you had or this or that. It has to do with tuning into the kingdom because that's where your blessings are. Your blessings are in the kingdom. Your blessings are inside. Okay? Your love energy inside is from God. Now, if you don't believe in God, then you only have the conscious and subconscious to consider. Okay? But your subconscious is the book of life. Your subconscious is the culmination of all of your senses. So what the hypnotic positioning, okay, of your anchor does is it helps you to overcome the negativity. It helps you to overcome the conditioning. It helps you to overcome the hypnosis, the societal hypnosis. Okay, because it comes to you in the form of TV commercials, in radio commercials, in scrolling on social media. It comes from a variety of things. Okay, but there are entities out there that actually place fear in the hearts of people for a reason. Okay, it's not necessarily inherently evil, but it's what they do. The news media, for example. I was a member of the media for over 40 years. And what they do is they select these stories, okay? And they put these stories together, like, let's say, a news organization. They'll put all these stories together. And because they know that people don't want to sit around watching feel-good stories, right? They have a half-hour newscast, and 25 minutes of the newscast is bad news. And right before you leave, they'll give you one story of hope, one good story, okay? So that you leave feeling, okay, I feel good now, right? Okay. But it's those other stories that create impact in your subconscious that make the difference. 95% of your life is subconscious. Now you're watching all that stuff. You're taking in all that information. The question is, how are you feeling inside after the newscast? How are you feeling after a week of watching news? How are you feeling after watching years of news? You see? Thank you. Yeah, see? So how are you feeling is the key. The Indian philosopher Shanakwa said, your feelings are your God. In other words, if you're feeling bad about something, you can't feel good in here to manifest abundance. So what's going to be the result? Well, you're going to manifest fearful things. You're going to manifest low vibrational things. Okay? Because all the low vibrations are rooted in fear. All of it. Procrastination. Okay? Hesitation. Everything fearful. Worry. That's another one. When you're worried. Okay? Because when you're worried, right? It's about fear. But worry is praying for something bad to happen. Whatever you're worried about, okay? You know, like, I hope that doesn't happen. Oh, I hope that doesn't happen. And you start thinking about it. Now you're bringing it into your world slowly because you're worrying about it. So whatever the topic is, that's what's going into your subconscious. Okay? When you're worried about something. So you need to reframe your thinking. How do you do that? You just say stop and you focus on something else. But it has to be a practice. It has to become a practice. Okay, so you have to do it in repetition, and then it'll go into your subconscious. So you can tell who the worriers are. You can tell who the grumblers are. You can tell who the negative people are. But what I'm telling you is that they did not wake up one day and say, okay, I'm going to commit to being negative. No, they've been all of these things have been projected onto them. It's all projected onto them. Humans are subject to their environment. If your environment is not good, you're not going to be good. Okay, there's something about you that's not going to be good because you're in that environment. Change your environment, everything changes. Why is that? Because we adapt to our environment. Okay? So if you're in that relationship that pulls you down, that goes like this, so I use this visual because it's extreme. Okay? If you're in a relationship that's doing this to you, chances are it's not the relationship itself. It's your subconscious regarding the relationship. Okay, that's how it works. It's your subconscious regarding the relationship. So how do you get out of it? Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. Is it hard to do? No, it's not hard to do. Okay, I am so happy and grateful now that I am confident. Thank you. I am so happy and grateful now that I have a perfect relationship. Thank you. Is your relationship going to come out perfect? No. But it will come out better than it is for you right now. Okay, now let's say you write a different affirmation. I am so happy and grateful now that my relationship is ideal for me. Thank you. There you go. Okay, so these are just ideas for you. But anchoring hypnotic language patterns are important because it's a shortcut and you're not always around your pen. So you're not always going to be able to write down an affirmation or stuff like that. You're not always going to be able to do that. Okay? So this is why that's important. Okay, so when I say bicycle money, right, my subconscious goes, oh, what? Oh, yeah, okay. You see? That's what anchoring does. Now, whatever you choose for your anchor, you can also choose hand positions or mudras. Okay, we're going to get into mudras one of these days. But a mudra is where you hold different positions with your hands. Okay? This this right here is a mudra. Okay? This right here is another mudra. Okay? This right here is another mudra. So what I do when I meditate is I put my hands together because I want to be guided into my mudra. Okay, I want to be guided into this. I don't want to make it up myself. So I just do this. You know, my eyes are normally closed when I do this. And then I do this, and then I do that. There we go. Oh, I didn't know I was going to do this one. Okay? But that's a mudra. Okay? This is a mudra. This is a mudra. This is a mudra. Okay, so we'll discuss this later, but this is from the East, this is from India. And each one of these mudras, because your hands and feet control the body, each one of these mudras is for a purpose. And when you hold the mudras, you're going to feel a difference. You're going to feel a certain difference. When you look up the mudras, so I suggest you do them on inspiration, because inspiration comes from the right side of the brain. Okay, that's Jesus. Jesus sits at the right hand of the Father. Okay, but the hands and feet control the body. Okay, my grandmother used to teach me this, and she used to massage me right here. Every time I saw her, she would grab my hand, and she would massage me right here. And these right here, this is for your lungs. And she used to rub my hand like this because I have asthma. So she always did this. She always did. And I said, Tutu, why are you doing this? We call our grandmothers Tutu in Hawaii. And I said, Tutu, why are you doing this? She goes, because this is for your lungs. And she used to massage me here like this. So anyway, but hands and feet control the body. Okay, look it up. It's a thing. Okay, so mudras actually help you subconsciously. Okay, so you see people like this, right? And then, of course, the different positions that I showed you. So that's another thing to look up. It's spelled M-U-D-R-A-S, mudras. Okay, it's a thing. And it's physiological, okay, as well as psychological. So it's for your subconscious, but it is physiological. The body leads the mind, and the mind leads the body. Okay, and this is very important. I worked in toxic environments, very toxic work environments. Okay, and although one of those environments involved comedy, it wasn't really funny, the effects I had when I left, because it was a very toxic work environment, and I had to go back to my office and sat in my chair and just lean back and close my eyes, and I had to meditate, and I had to shake these things off, because I worked with a lot of toxic people, okay? And some of them did not even know they were toxic. And they had very little understanding of psychology or those things, so they couldn't see it. And this is what I'm saying about the societal hypnosis. People don't see that they're hypnotized. People don't see that they're in a trance, okay? Because their behavior just keeps circling. Why is that? Because the subconscious just repeats wash, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat. Every day, it's a different day. Okay, different things pop up, different events happen, different situations occur, but the reaction is always the same. The personality is also the same. Okay, so personality is subconscious. Can you change your personality? Oh yeah, sure. Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. If you put my name in any browser, any AI, anything, and just put teaching method after it, it will show you everything. Okay. So we're going to take a look at why these anchoring words have power. Okay. The conscious mind thinks logic. Okay. So your conscious mind logically functions, okay, a lot from the left brain. And it doesn't last very long, okay? Because you look at something, you analyze it, okay? If you like it, what do? You repeat, okay? If you repeat, goes into the subconscious, okay? The subconscious mind responds to rhythm, suggestion, imagery, emotion, and implication. So when you commit something to your subconscious, it remembers these details. And this is what it will create. It will create a feedback loop for you. And this is how it will remember it. Okay, so emotion is important. That's why people say, right? You join your intention with emotion. Okay, but the imagery is important as well, right? Looking in the mirror is very powerful. Working in the mirror is very powerful. I worked in the mirror for years. Okay, what does that mean, working in the mirror? Stand in front of your mirror and tell yourself what it is you want. Tell yourself what it is you want to create. Okay, what kind of, if you're thinking of starting a business, what kind of business? Talk to yourself about it in the mirror. Why is that? Because God lives in here. And your subconscious recognizes your image and your voice over everything. Over everything. And why is this important? Because you can commit things to your subconscious as a program, and then it will just wash, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat. Why is that important? Well, if you're putting good stuff in there or intentional things in there, things that you want, okay? So let's say you want a good business. Let's say you want to be productive. Let's say you want to be on time. Let's say you want to be punctual, right? All you do is write it. I am so happy and grateful now that I'm punctual. Thank you. Now stand in the mirror and read that affirmation to yourself and look yourself in the eye when you do it. It goes directly into your subconscious. So if you were creating an anchor about being punctual, you would go back to a time you would remember, and all you need to do to remember, okay, because your subconscious is a culmination of all of your senses. All you need to do to remember is ask your subconscious, when was I really punctual? At what point in my life was I really punctual? Because some people get lazy, okay? And when you're lazy a few times, guess what happens? Your subconscious memorizes it, and then wash, rinse, repeat, and then you become lazy. People don't catch these things. You don't catch it because it happens gradually, and then pretty soon, wash, rinse, repeat in the subconscious, okay? So you don't really feel it, and then all of a sudden, what do you say? You go, you know, I used to be really aggressive, or I used to be really on time, or I used to be really ambitious, right? I used to. Why? Because you slowly evolved into lazy. And all it took was maybe 2 or 3 times when you went, I don't want to go to work today. I don't want to be on time. I can be late. That's okay. They'll wait for me. And then what? Subconscious. Then it starts to wash, rinse, repeat. Then what? Well, now I put things off. I procrastinate. And upon closer inspection, you find that, oh, while I'm procrastinating, there's a little bit of fear associated with that. It's not like I don't want to, right? It's not like I don't want to, but there's something there. All you have to do is ask your subconscious, why am I procrastinating? Now, you may not get the answer right then and there, but you'll be washing dishes one night, or you'll be in the shower one morning, or you'll be driving to work one day, and it will hit you. And you'll go, oh, that's what I'm fearful of. That's what I'm afraid of. That's what I've been avoiding. Okay? This is not rocket science, but people go to therapy for these things, right? Okay? So to me, if you're relying on another human being, even though they have training, even though they have a degree, even though they, okay, all of those things, you're not doing your homework. Because if you do your homework, you can help yourself. If you can help yourself, you probably don't need as much therapy. You can cut down on therapy. Okay. You can minimize damage rather than letting it get out of hand and then have a therapist unscramble it for you. So you can do all of these things. You can be proactive on your own. But when you do these things, when you reduce these things, when you get rid of the clutter in here, affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization, okay? With my clients, I pull them out with vocalization. Then they start to see it. Then they can see the societal hypnosis. Because you can't see it when you're in it. It's very difficult to see it when you're in it. Some people know that it exists. They go, yeah, well, I know I have some habits, and yeah, I know I acquired this somewhere, and yeah, I know this happened somehow. But they don't know how, they don't know where, they don't know when. Because we live day to day. You can't tell, right? But if you don't do anything about it, or let's say you hand it over to your therapist to do stuff for you, okay? It's a little bit, more of a journey, put it that way. Okay, I'm not here to demonize the therapeutic world or the therapy people. Okay, I will tell you that my clients, have discontinued therapy, discontinued medicine, discontinued things like that all the time. That's one thing that I'm very proud of. Although I make no medical claims, I always have to say that for legal reasons. But yeah, that's the miracle. Well, you're the miracle actually, but the miracle of the human voice. It pulls you out of hypnosis. And pretty soon you feel clear. Pretty soon you feel more aware. Your awareness increases. So I had a psychiatrist, right? And he was with me for a while. And during the fourth session, at the end of the fourth session, I said, Doc, what do you think? He goes, I can't put my finger on it, but yeah, I don't know what this is, but this is a thing, yeah. You see? And he felt it. But he was schooled in things of the brain. He was schooled in all of this. Okay, but here's the thing about school. It takes you like this, your awareness, okay, it takes you like this, and it crunches you into this, and here, this is the doctor. Now you're the doctor. But we took this much, and we crunched it in over here. Here, this is your specialty. Now, this is you. And he had no idea of these things that I was, actually guiding him through. Face of change, good morning. The face of change, all right. Good morning. So when these things happen, they happen through the best of intentions. Okay? People get screwed up with the best of intentions. So it's really important that you work on you first, and then go to the therapist and use their expertise and their knowledge. Okay, because their knowledge is from school. This is your spirit. This, okay, supersedes everything. Everything. If you go in here and ask, if you go in here and seek, okay, knock and the door shall open. But you don't knock out here on your neighbor's door or anybody's door. You knock in here. Seek and ye shall find. You don't seek out there. The only thing out there is nature and things from someone else's in here. That's all that's out there. That's not going to help you. Thank you, Shah. Good morning. Aloha from Riverside. Yeah, Riverside, California. There you go. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Thank you, guys. Hey, Bill. How you doing, Bill? Good morning. So, you can help yourself, okay? You can design your life. Let me show you what design looks like, okay? You can literally design how you want your life to be. This morning, I got up at midnight. Well, I got up at midnight, okay? I was at the gym by 3. Jay and I had time to visit and chat. And then I went to the gym. And then I did my workout, my routine. And then I did some running. Then I went to Starbucks. Then I did my, word of the day thingy on Facebook. but I designed my life this way. Okay, this is how you design your life. These are affirmations. This is not journaling. Okay, it's not journaling. This is the new one I'm working on. Okay, I wrote another affirmation this morning. Okay, so I've been doing this for years and years and years. I put up a post on my Facebook, my personal Facebook. Jay, if you want to write that address for people, they can find my Facebook. But on my Facebook, which is one of the largest Facebook pages in Hawaii, on my Facebook page, okay, I put a video, an old video of me with stacks of my affirmations and it looks crazy. It looks crazy, right? But that's how you design your life. Not everybody's going to put in that kind of effort. Not everybody's going to write a sentence when they wake up. Not everybody's going to read it out loud before they go to sleep. Not everybody is going to plan their life so that they experience things deliberately. But if you do it, you'll be amazed because you are the miracle. When you stand in front of your mirror in your bathroom, take a good look in the mirror. This is your miracle. Okay? God first, then you. Okay, so there's the conscious, subconscious, superconscious. The superconscious first. Okay, then the conscious and the subconscious. So if you look at it like a computer, the conscious mind thinks the thoughts. That's your operating system. The subconscious mind, in repetition, the program goes into your subconscious. Okay, that's your hard drive where it stores the programs. Okay, same thing, same like a computer. Now the superconscious is consciousness. The superconscious is God, it's Allah, it's Jesus Christ, it's however you believe. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I'm not here to push Christianity, although that's my understanding and my background and my belief. And so those are the things that I reference and I talk about those things. But the kingdom is in here because your power is in here. Okay, you're not your body, you're not your name. You're that energy that lives in here. Thank you, Jake. Prove Man, hey, good morning, good morning. I like your picture. I like that American flag. You're from America. So there is always three. Sha, I don't understand what you're. Oh yeah. Conscious, subconscious, superconscious. There, yeah. If you don't believe in God, then, or if you don't believe in consciousness, or if you don't believe in, like that, then there's no superconscious for you. Oh, okay. Hawa said. I'm trying to read your name, Khan. Thank you. Thank you for being here on the live. Thank you. So, if you don't believe in consciousness, let's say you don't believe in consciousness. Let's say you think it's woo-woo. Let's say you don't believe in God. You think that's woo-woo. Let's say that you think that you evolved from, I don't know, generations and generations of beings that somehow just got planted here. Okay, if that's your belief, then there is no superconscious. I'm here to tell you it's real. Okay, because how do you explain when people think about something? Okay, thoughts become things. People think about their bestie, right? Think about your bestie. Think about your bestie. I haven't seen my bestie. Wow, I wonder how she is, he is, whatever. And then all of a sudden you see your bestie in the shopping center. But that didn't happen before that. Before you started thinking about them. Then all of a sudden, like magic, they show up. That's manifestation. But that's manifestation through a conscious and subconscious effort. And the superconscious goes into the subconscious and goes, oh, bestie? Okay, we'll arrange that. And the superconscious arranges it. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Yeah, there is Father, Son, Holy Spirit. It's more like Father, Mother, Son. That was adopted by the church. That way of saying it. The Trinity. The Trinity is Father, Mother, Baby. That's the Trinity because that's the progression. That's the, your father plus mother equals baby, and that's how we. What do N? Okay, thank you, Bill. Maybe let me know. So the Trinity is Father, Mother, Baby. Okay, if you look at ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, it's there. The Trinity is there, but the Trinity is, Father plus Mother equals baby, and those are the generations. Basically, that's what it's implying. Okay, yeah, that's what it's implying. So it's not necessarily, Holy Spirit dwells within all. So the Holy Spirit is in you. Okay, the Holy Spirit is in everything. Let's say it another way. God's energy is in everything. It's in every blade of grass. It's in the trees. Trees communicate with each other, by the way. Okay, they don't communicate like we do. They communicate through the roots, but they talk to each other. They communicate. There are, I don't know, you guys on TikTok, you guys have probably seen this. What do you think about dreams? What do I think about dreams? It's your subconscious. So anyway, try thinking about something before you go to sleep, Bill. And then you get a dream about it and you go, whoa, that's wild. I just got a dream. I was just thinking about that. I got a dream about it. Your subconscious does that, okay? So, they have machines now that you can see on TikTok where they clip these little electrode thingies to plants, and the plants make music because the plants are radiating energy, because everything in the universe is intelligent. Everything. Okay? So in my world, God is very real, very real. This is why when you talk to your plants, the plants get better. Sounds crazy, right? Talk to your plants. They'll get healthier. It's vibration. They don't understand your words. They understand your vibration. They feel your vibration. They feel you. Plants feel you when you speak to them, because you need to project frequency onto them. And this is how the frequency in your voice heals you. Okay, if you go to my website, hereforyouLifeCoaching.com, the research is there. You can actually click on the research links and read this for yourself. This is not woo-woo. This is science. This is the way the human being works. But you have several mechanisms in here, in the kingdom, that work for you, that solve problems for you. Okay? When I write down whatever it is, if I have a problem, I write down the opposite as my affirmation. It resolves itself. Okay? If I need money for something, I write down what I need. I don't necessarily write down money anymore. I write clients. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have 4 more clients this week. Thank you. And they show up. Sometimes it's 2 clients. Sometimes it's 6 clients. Sometimes it's 3. It's not always 4. It doesn't come out exactly like that. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying when you write it down, it helps it along. When you write it down, the superconscious acts on it because it goes into your subconscious. Now, if you've been writing it for years, like I showed you, right? My tablets, okay, it's on Facebook. Those of you watching on Facebook, there's 2 Facebook accounts right now that we're broadcasting live on. Okay, if you watch it, it's on my wall on my main Facebook page. What book do you recommend to influence our subconscious mind? Okay, I don't get anything for plugging this book, but this is the Bible of subconscious study. Okay, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, Dr. Joseph Murphy. I'm glad you asked, by the way. Thank you for asking. Okay, there you go. Showing up, Face of Change. Yep, there you go. Okay, Dr. Joseph Murphy, right here. Okay, and it's easy to understand. And there's a lot of Christian references because the Bible is all about the subconscious. Okay, that's why it works so well with everybody. It's about the inside of the human. Okay. But anyway, so you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Hey, Miss Sunshine. Hello. Welcome back. So, when you write about something you want, when you speak about what you want, okay, you pull your subconscious into that. And you pull it away from what you don't want. How many people do you know that talk about what they don't want? All the time, right? The damn political system, this, that, and they're grumbling about what? About what they don't want, right? They start fighting what they don't want. When you fight something you don't want, you empower it. Why? Because you're infusing it with energy. You're giving it your energy. Everything in the universe is energy. Okay? When you fight, you lose. When you engage, you join. Okay? Whatever you engage with energetically, You're not your body. You're not your name. You're that spirit that lives in here. When your spirit attaches to something else, and it starts with your eyes, it starts with your eyes. You look at something, you go, wow, that's cool. Whether it's the new car, the new girl, the handbag, the dress, the suit, the shoes, whatever it is, you join. Now that becomes your reality because now you're thinking about it. The more you think about it, it goes into your subconscious. The subconscious starts planning avenues towards it. Your subconscious goes, oh, maybe if you get a side hustle, then you can buy the handbag. Oh, maybe if you get maybe if you save some money, you can get the handbag. Maybe if you do this, you can get it. You see what I'm saying? So it starts to create pathways. Oh, sorry, my book? Okay, my book. Here you go. All right, I have things piled up over here. Okay, this is my book, The Universal Law of Attraction and Singing. This is not about how to be a singer. I know it's a sneaky book because it doesn't have anything to do with becoming a better singer. It has to do with your voice healing you and how it works and what we do. Okay. Hey, Gary. How's it going, Gary? So you can heal through your voice. What do we heal through the voice? We heal fear, guilt, shame, all of that through the voice, to the human voice, by having people express with velocity, with strength. Okay? With strength. What does it do? It triggers endorphins and oxytocin in your brain. What does that do? It calms you. What does that do? Now you come from you. You come from authenticity, which is the highest vibration. It's all in here. Real stories about real people that I've treated in here. Well, we don't use the word treated because we don't make medical claims. Okay? Thank you, Gary. Thank you for being here. Check out my book. You'll like it. That's Gary V right there. Gary V watching my live. That's an incredible compliment. That's a very high compliment. But this is how we heal through the human voice. Okay, Gary, if you want to try it, I'll send you the book. Just shoot me your email, and I will email it to your office. Okay. But you can heal through your voice. Okay. I maintain through the voice because I do it with my clients. Okay, so as I'm healing my clients, I'm showing them, I'm inspiring them by projecting loud tones. Therefore, I am always aware. It keeps me very much aware and out of the hypnosis. Okay, so when I see something, I go, well, okay, they're trying to hypnotize us. Oh, okay, they're trying to induct us. Oh, okay, they're trying to influence us, right? I'm here to give you the cure. I'm not here to influence you into things. Okay, but I'm trying to say that you should link your book, and I want to see it every session. Oh, okay. You should link my book. Okay. Okay, yeah, so this is my book. Anyway, all right, enough with the book. I'm not here plugging the book every day. That's why you don't see my book every day. That's why I don't do it every day. I'm not here to sell books. My book sells by itself. It sells because the people that believe in the law of attraction, and there are tons of us. There are tons, especially the kids, the young kids. Okay? But what they don't explain to the children is that this is subconscious training. This is subconscious application. Okay, so when you hear somebody talk about, right? Oh, I manifested this. I manifested. Yeah, they did. Okay? You manifested everything. Everything in your life, whether you think so or not. Okay? Whether you understand it or not. I'm not a client, but watching you, wishing you the best because you give a lot. Thank you. Yeah, I give a lot. Will I write another book in the future? Yeah, I'm working on a book, Manuel. I'm working on a new book. It's called The Kingdom Within, because you always hear me talk about the Kingdom Within. I'm writing a new book right now. It'll be done soon. You manifested an all expenses paid trip to Rome. Yeah. Congratulations, Simba. All you need to do is write it, speak it, dream it, think it, live it. Okay, but if you want to do it faster, okay, if you want to do it quickly, affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. all aimed at one thing, and it has to happen. It cannot not happen. Okay. So if you're thinking like, oh, I manifested this, but I was trying for this thing and I couldn't do this, for some reason, this isn't happening, then you're not applying all four pillars: affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. Okay. The visualization, first of all, is seeing yourself there. Okay. And in order to see yourself there, you have to see yourself worthy. Okay. And in order to see yourself worthy, you have to get it in your subconscious. Otherwise, it's a conscious thought, which is 5% of your life. Subconscious is 95%. Talita, hi, hello, where, what? Tell me where, Talita. Good morning, aloha from Hawaii. Okay? So there's a process for this. Yeah, you manifested everything in your life. Take a look around you. Everything that's around you. Everything. I look at everything around me, right? Well, there's a lot you can't see, but I look in here. I look in my office. There's my collector guitars. There's all kinds of stuff. Okay, the guitar that I use to heal people, I'll show it to you guys. This is, I don't think you're going to see a guitar like this. This was made in 1933. It's 92 years old. Okay, and I used to use it for performing. It's very old, you see? You see it says 20 de Novembre 33. You see, this was made in Paracho, Mexico. You see? It's a Jesus Diaz Reyes. And it's very old. Oh, nice and sweet. So it's 92 years old. But I never thought that I would be using my guitar for healing people. But I actually use it for healing. I used to use it for special performances. If you go online and you put my name online and you put music, you'll see the video pop up where I was doing, Spanish guitar stuff and whatever, all of that. That's why I have long nails. So you see me with my nails and stuff, and people go, oh, dude, what's up with the nails? I'm like, well, I play, So anyway, but yeah, you can manifest the life of your dreams. All I do is live my dreams. That's all I do. If it's not part of my dreams, I don't live it. I don't do it. Because you don't have to. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. The system makes you feel like you have to do stuff. Okay? So I'm here to tell you, wait, I have to do this authentication thingy. There you go. Okay. The system makes you feel like you have to do stuff. Okay, you have to pay taxes because you're in a system that is set up like that, okay? So you have to pay taxes, you have to follow laws, you have to follow rules and regulations, you have to do all that stuff, okay? But if you build your own business, if you do your own thing, okay, then all you do is pay the tax and, those simple things, right? But you make your own rules. You follow your heart. Buenos dias. Yeah, buenos dias. And you follow your heart and you follow the things that you want and hopefully you follow divine intuition, okay? Divine guidance in here. When I want to do something, all I do is close my distractors and I ask. And I believe in my asking and then I receive, okay? And yeah, we have a special, a TikTok special. The reason why sorry Facebook and we have two channels right now live on Facebook. We have a YouTube channel. We have, I guess I can mention everything. We have a Twitch channel. We have we have one in Europe, Trovo in Europe. We have that. So we have 7 platforms that we're on every morning. The reason why I haven't opened up my platform or my special to more people than TikTok is because I don't have room on my calendar for everybody. Sorry, guys. But that will come soon, okay? But you can go to the website and you can write. But I only have I think we have four spots available for TikTok right now, okay? And then pretty soon we're going to run a Facebook special, and then it'll just be for Facebook and like that, and then YouTube and, stuff like that. But what's really important is that, first of all, you get out of this societal hypnosis. Okay, because this is what's making you worry. This is what's making you fearful. This is what is promoting the guilt, fear, and shame. Okay, all this. Okay, so when you start getting preoccupied with this, what's happening is you're getting pulled into the physical world, away from the spiritual world. Okay, the spiritual world is in here. You're a spirit having a physical existence. But when you get pulled into the physical world, you start thinking, right, that you're this and you're not this. You're this. Okay? And this will bring you everything. This will attract everything. Does it do it by magic? No, it does it by your subconscious. But your subconscious has a set of core beliefs. And the only thing you can manifest is what you believe to be true. So you got to change your beliefs. Okay? If you have limiting beliefs, then that means you are being limited. Okay? And anyway, today is Saturday. I'm sorry, I'm getting the the signal here from Jay. I need to go, but we will be here tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. As always, every day. We do it every day, 7 days a week, right here. Okay, just for you. And if you want to go to the website for more information and you can see the research, it's hereforyoulifecoaching.com. We have a site that you can look, a Google site. If you Google Here For You Life Coaching in Honolulu, Hawaii, you can see our ratings. We have perfect 5-star ratings. I don't know how many of them, 40 something, 50 maybe, something like that. But check it out. And my method is online, so you don't have to necessarily come to me and pay for it. You can put my name, Junior Kekuewa Jr., and then put teaching method next to it. Put it in any AI, any browser, and you'll get everything. Okay, and it's absolutely free. There you go, Hawaiians. Okay, when you're